Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Previously, we were at the Ashina Castle Gate where we faced off against the Demon of Hatred and defeated him, discovering that he was in fact the sculptor who had turned to Shura. And basically that was it. We didn't really do anything else. And so here we are now at the sculptor that's literally just called near secret passage. So that's the hidden passage where Kuro has been hiding out, or not hiding out, but trying to. That's how we get out of Ashina. That's how we were trying to escape. And so once the forces came and took the castle, that's where he ran off to. And so that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to follow up on that and get towards our first of three endings here for this first playthrough. Okay, so there are four endings to the story, but only three of them can be done in one playthrough. If you want to do all three in one playthrough, you need to make a backup of your save file before continuing what we're about to do here. Or finish what we're going to do here and then back it up, because we are going to go up against a boss fight that's rather challenging, and if you don't want to face it multiple times, you don't have to. I'm going to face it every time, so I'm just going to save. I already have my backup save here. So if you want to do that, like I said, you might want to finish the fight first. To back up your save file, you can either upload the files essentially to cloud storage, or port it over to a USB drive, something like that, whatever you prefer. If you're on PC, it's a little different, so go talk to somebody about that, because I've never really done that with PC games. I don't think it's hard. I've watched people do it before. It's pretty straightforward. And then once the backup is complete, fire up your game, proceed to the ending of your choice, see the cutscenes, credits, etc., whatever you want to see, and then basically just re-download your original save file to replace the one after the ending, and you can just load back in and you'll be back right where you saved, essentially. And so from there, if there's anything you want to save ahead of time, like I said, if you want to do the boss first and save after, that's fine, because this game does not press you right into the cutscene. You have a bit of downtime. But if you want to do all the endings, make sure to save there at least, because you can only do them one at a time otherwise. There is one fourth ending, like I said, but we cannot do that until a New Game Plus. The reason for that is because you need to have all the 14 boss fights stacked to get the boss trophy, essentially. So while you'll have the trophy for defeating the boss, you don't have it for stacking with that last ending, because it gives you one more fight that's different. I'm approaching the endings from the perspective of darkest to happiest, in my most humble opinion. So there's many people that would argue otherwise. So watch them all if you are not familiar, and otherwise choose which one you want to see first, I guess, or just go to the last one, because that'll end off our first playthrough. Now, this is essentially where we started off the game. If you recall, we fled to this area with Kuro, and we were faced off by none other than Genichiro. And that's when we lost our arm and what set us on this entire journey. And so this is the final boss fight. We are going to be going up against two fights, starting off with Genichiro himself in his Way of Tomoe form. However, he's going to have one switch, which is that he now has the Black Mortal Blade, also known as Open Gate. And so we are going to have to face him off for, I think, just one death blow on this one, if I'm recalling correctly. And his moveset is pretty much the same, except that he has the Mortal Blade, which means if he uses it to swing at you, he has to charge it up just like we do, and you cannot block it. Well, you can, but it's not going to help you. So he's still going to do damage. So what you want to do is either make sure you are a good distance away from him, which I don't recommend that as the general move. I would actually dodge forward past him and let him swing facing you. And sometimes he will wind up twice and come down on you a second time, just like we can with Mortal Draw. So essentially that's his only new change. After that, he's going to use Open Gate for its name. It has a connection to the underworld. He's going to summon Isshin Ashina in his younger days, essentially around the time when we were young, and we're going to have to fight him instead. There are 3 death blows that you have to do to defeat Isshin once you get to that point, And I'm going to tell you, this is a pretty tough fight. This is one of two fights in the entire game that had me at a wall for a good period of time. Similar to when I did Genichiro, it took me 3 days. I would essentially fight until my hands got tired, and then I would stop and pick it up the next day and repeat until I got him down. And even after that, Genichiro became a lot easier to me. This one did not. It took a long time for me practicing at this, fighting him, getting my butt kicked before I was able to actually take him on and do this. So that's a thing. Three stages of a fight with him, and the first stage is by far the easiest. He's going to move rather slowly, and what he does is he kind of tries to get you to drop your guard. He'll eventually go into a kind of a sword combo where he's going to swipe at you, but he doesn't do it super fast, so you almost drop your guard on deflection, and he swipes at you when you're not expecting it, or you'll go try to go in for a hit, and it's too late because he's already moving on you. And that kind of goes back to the idea where he said, hesitation is defeat. You don't want to hesitate. You do not want to drop your guard. You want to stay on him as best you can. Um, he's going to have a bunch of other kind of moves based on the Ashina sword style. Kind of see those as they play out. I don't remember them all. The ones to really watch out for are the ones where he kind of does big AoE attacks. Ashina Cross, I think, is one of them, where he essentially does like a vertical and horizontal slash, and you'll see kind of like a wind effect on his blade, which can be pretty devastating to your health. So be careful with that. He'll do thrust attacks. I think he does Ichimonji as well. I think anything on the Ashina tree he can probably do. Uh, and like I said, I'm probably forgetting a lot of what he does, but that's kind of the first stage. Once you get to the second stage, this gets a whole heck of a lot harder. He is going to whip out a humongous spear, and he's also going to have a repeating pistol on him. And so he is going to get much more aggressive. He does a lot of really wild spear combos on you. So if you're not good at deflecting spears, which is why this was so hard for me, that's what you're going to want to get down. There are a few things you can do to try to avoid them. So there's one move in particular where he's going to do kind of a swipe at you, and typically I can just deflect it. Is kind of what I've got it down to. But you can also jump backwards, and if your timing is good enough, you can get out of its way. However, be careful because he has kind of a forward lunge where he'll jump at you and slam the spear down. And ideally, if you're not good at deflecting, what I would try to do is get behind him when he does the jump and wind up your mortal draw or whatever move you want to use and smash down on him when he lands. But if he gets on top of you, it's pretty much a pretty devastating hit. So you should be able to deflect that as well. That's kind of one of the main things to watch out for, especially in that stage of the fight. He gets, like I said, much more aggressive. And if you try to run from him, he's going to run after you, and he's going to close the gap with that jump attack. So just be careful. I don't remember exactly when it comes up, but like I said, he's got the repeating pistol. He will shoot at you a few times. Try to deflect those if he does, or get between a rock that's in the center here and make sure he's shooting that instead. He will typically try to keep up on you and come at you pretty hard. And there's a few other moves he uses. There's one, this might be the third phase and not the second, but there's one where he'll kind of do a sword swing at you, and it's kind of like one of those anime things where you're going to get a blast from the sword that's going to come at you. Very similar to what we did to the Divine Dragon when we would hit the lightning and throw it at the Divine Dragon, except it looks like more of a wind attack. And he'll usually do them in succession. He'll do two of those at you, so just make sure to dodge out of the way. And like I said, it's mostly about you want to keep on him, but but if you're going to try running away, make sure you have a distance on him because he will close that gap way faster than you think. When he does his sword combos, there is one where he will do kind of a really wide swipe, and so just be careful because he's all over the place when he's got that spear out, and he's not putting it away. So I shouldn't say when he's got that out. It's out. He's not putting that thing down, so just be careful with that. Once he gets to the third stage, it's not that much different from the second one. He might have a few additional attacks, but the main thing is that as the stages progress, the place is going to get a bit more volatile, so storms will start picking up. And as you might guess, because we're going up against Genichiro and his way of Tomoe, we're also going to be doing that with Isshin because he's going to have some lightning attacks, which you can use against him. So take advantage of them because that should actually make that final fight a little bit easier. So yeah, that's about all I can remember offhand. There's probably more to it move-wise, but we'll see that as I get into the fight. So let's run in here and see how this goes.
Kuro-sama.
久しいな。
巫女の忍び。見よ、不思議のもう一振りよ。
健一郎殿。そのようなものでは決してアシナの命運は変わりませぬ。狼よ、流因など誰の手にもあるべきではないのだ。苦労をかけるな。
御意。
Watch how smoothly he draws the sword compared to the beginning. Oh yeah.
参る。
That was so smooth.
ああ、しまいとしよう。
He's probably gonna go for the mortal drop pretty quick, so you want to get behind him if he does.
俺がアシナを生かす。
Oh, he got me anyway. Oh my god, really? Yeah, don't start like that.
そうだ、その力だ。
Put him in his corner really quick.
踏みにじらせはせぬぞ。 何もできなかった。だが流因がこの国を生かす。これでアシナの世は明ける。
哀れな孫の最後の願いじゃ。わしはこのアシナをよみがえらせねばならぬ。故に赤炉、お主を切るぞ。
参れ、赤炉。
Back off.
血がたぎってきた。
It's the spear.
赤炉。
Yeah, the AoE is big. You want to draw him in, get him to jump. And then Mortal draw him. Oh, that was it.
Sekiro. Saraba.
All right. I will read these later in the final ending. I'm not going to do them now. And I love the fact that Kudo is just laying here the whole time. Oh boy. Okay, we'll do this first ending.
どこじゃ狼
So, like I said, we're going to do the Immortal Severance here first, which means give Divine Dragon's Tears only. This is the one that requires the beheading. Give Dragon's Tears and Everblossom is for the purification, and Give Dragon Tears and Frozen Tears is for the return.
我が生涯の忍びを、虫たちをお願いできますか？これはやはりあなたが持っていてください。また新しい忍びが力を求める時が来るでしょう。
All right, that was the Immortal Severance ending. And as noted previously, like it says here, you don't have to start playthrough 2, which is why. So it's kind of nice they have some break slots in there for you. So if you just hit no. Like I said, will review these later. So it's going to sound a little odd, but the way I'm going to tell this, but going back to the sculptor here. The sculptor took Emma from a battlefield similar to how Owl took Sekiro, thereby allowing the sculptor to empathize with his situation here, which I think is why he's been helping us from the start. Why he had been helping us, because of course the sculptor is now dead. Emma was adopted by Dogen, the mechanic slash medical doctor, when Ashina started becoming more dangerous, too dangerous, and Sekiro, on the other hand, was raised by a shinobi, or raised by a shinobi as a shinobi, and went on to become indebted to the sculptor after losing his arm to Genichiro, which we, just avenged in a secondary format, I guess, because we already kind of took him out. The sculptor inevitably falls to Shura's shadow, and is defeated by Sekiro, who takes on the role of the new sculptor after beheading his master. This is, or was, of course, a come full circle type ending, and from my perspective is the most FromSoft Soulsborne ending you could possibly get. And it kind of makes me think that Sekiro, at this point, could go on to play the same role because of it being a come full circle conclusion, and essentially fall to Shura's shadow again if the events play out similarly in the future. Anyway, if you're following along for the trophy completion, we do have 2 new trophies for this. There's Sword Saint Isshin Ashina for defeating Isshin there in that final battle. We will get one leg up towards our Man Without Equal trophy, which is the defeat all bosses, but of course that's not going to count if you're doing what I'm doing and running a backup save. That will only count on your latest run, which is why we're doing a New Game Plus to get that final boss fight and that final ending. But we have that, plus we have the Immortal Severance trophy for attaining the Immortal Severance ending. And that's where we are going to end this particular episode. So to recap, we went to catch up with Kuro. We ended up facing Genichiro one last time. He now had the second Mortal Blade, the Black Mortal Blade, also known as Open Gate. We took him down rather quickly, and he used it to summon Sword Saint Isshin from the grave. And we took him out as well. We went through with what I would say is one of the darker endings. I think only the darkest I would say for me was Shura by far, which we will get to in New Game Plus. But I would say this is definitely one of those darker endings because it ends up with him beheading his master, who didn't even get the chance to live a normal life. Next time we are going to proceed with the Purification ending. We're going to do the same events essentially, but see how this plays out a little differently if we follow through with Kuro being alive in the end, and us taking the fall in his place. With that being said, let us close things out for this one. I'll be continuing tonight, so if you're here live, stick around. Otherwise, thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.